Whitewater oars are made out of wood, fiberglass, carbon fiber, or aluminum encased in plastic. Wooden oars provide the most purchase with little to no play in the overall oar. They also flex a little while rowing, giving you a little extra push. Composite oars can be lighter than wooden oars with a variety of options in flexibility and construction. Composite oars are made in sections with replaceable components. The blade, shaft, and handle can be individually replaced if damaged, providing a cheaper option than replacing the entire oar. Composite oars also require a little less maintenance over time than wooden oars. A common misconception for picking the right length oar is that the larger or longer your boat, the longer oars you need. Oar length is determined by the width or spacing between the oar locks and towers. The frame determines the oar length, not the boat. A good method we found for determining the oar length is the 1.63 formula. Measure the distance between your oar locks and multiply that by 1.63 to get an idea for oar length. Keep in mind that the oar length can be somewhat of a preference, so you can go a little longer or a little shorter than what the formula spits out. Some boaters prefer a little more length, while some prefer going shorter for a more balanced oar. Going longer can increase your leverage somewhat, but that also increases your swing weight, making the oar feel heavier. Longer oars can also be a little harder to get out of the water for your next stroke. Going a little shorter will decrease your swing weight, making the oar feel a little lighter, but you may have a little trouble reaching the water in bigger whitewater. A good rule of thumb is to have roughly 1/3 of the oar inside your oar lock and 2/3 of the oar outside the oar lock. It's a little bit of science and a little bit of art. When purchasing oars with removable blades, it is important to keep in mind that the oar shaft length listed takes into account the removable blade and the length. If you purchase what is listed as an 8-foot oar shaft, thinking that by adding a 27-inch blade that the oar will be 10 feet long, you'll feel like you came up short, about 2 feet short. Oar towers should be positioned right around your kneecaps, not in front of your knees, and not too close to your body. This will give you the optimal range for both forward and back strokes. They should also be tall enough that when you bring your oar blades out of the water, your handles don't hit your knees, and when you push and pull, the motion is similar to a push-up, straight forward and straight back from your shoulders and chest. Sitting on a seat, dry box, or an elevated seat can affect how high your oar towers need to be. If rowing from an elevated seat, your oar towers will need to be higher. If you're bumping your knees while you're rowing, you may need taller oar towers, or you may need to be sitting closer to the oar towers if they are hitting your knees when you're pulling back to set up a push stroke. When rowing whitewater, you want a small gap in between your oar handles when your oars are at 90 degrees in the oar locks to the water. We recommend 1 to 2 fists worth of space, whatever is more comfortable for you. This will give you the best positioning for an efficient and powerful stroke. Setting your oar spacing too wide will be inefficient, making it hard to row precisely and reduce your leverage. Bring your handles down and your blades up to where the oars are at a 90-degree angle from the floor or water, and set up your oar stops on the shaft where you can achieve your desired spacing. There are 2 options for oar setup: open oars or fixed blade. Most experienced rowers prefer open oars with a rubber or plastic oar stop that will allow for quick feathering or blade rotation based on the situation. Open oar setups allow you to feather the blade and adjust the oar stroke to get a little extra purchase, allows for finesse strokes, and also allows you to pull the blade out of the current by rotating the blade forward or backward. Setting up fixed blades with blade rights or pins and clips limits the dexterity with oars. However, there is a time and place where this can be beneficial to the rower, such as a beginning rower or someone running really hard whitewater who wants to know exactly where their blade is. Blade rights or pins and clips fix the blade in a vertical position perpendicular to the water, so the blade angle will always be where you need it to be. They can provide more power as the blade will not rotate in the current, but can get stuck in the current and be hard to bring back up, or pull the oar out of your hands if you're not ready. Blade rights can be a great option if you're just learning to row, as you don't have to think about the blade angle when making your oar strokes. Open oars can be set up a couple different ways, either rope wraps or sleeves with an oar stop. Rope wraps are exactly as they sound, rope wrapped around the shaft that sits in the oar lock, protecting the oar from the oar locks, while offering more friction to the oar for a quieter, smoother, and softer feel. Rope wrapped oars should be paired with a rubber oar stop, as it keeps them quiet and the rubber will not damage the rope wrap, especially if being moved or adjusted. Plastic oar stops or blade rights should not be used with rope wrap, as they can damage the rope wrap over time. Oar sleeves serve the same purpose of protecting the oar shaft. However, they are made of plastic and slide over the oar where you need them and don't offer as large of an area of protection as the rope wrap setup, but can be easily moved to accommodate different frames and rowers. Oar sleeves can be paired with plastic oar stops or blade rights depending on your preference for open versus fixed position. Plastic oar stops and blade rights are made as a clamp style or two semicircles secured with screws that tighten around the oar sleeve. Easy installation and adjustment of positioning on the oar are the main benefits of plastic stops and blade rights. Plastic stops and blade rights should be used on oars with plastic sleeves, not rope-wrapped oars. Rubber oar stops are a one-piece donut that slides or rolls onto the rope-wrapped oars. They're a little hard to get into place, but not as noisy as the plastic options. Again, rubber stops should be used on rope-wrapped oars. No matter which oars, stops, or setups you choose or prefer, these recommendations will get you into a comfortable position so that you can make an educated decision and get the experience you need to dial in your setup. If you have any questions or want to talk it through, please give us a call at 1-800-247-3432.